Life has its own karmic substance and the fetus has the karma of the parents. So if a dimension beyond your physicality becomes a continuously active process within you, then after some time, these two chakras which are dormant and outside the body become active. This will be always happening if you keep your energies in a certain way. Newborn baby in your home, you would see a certain part of the skull is not formed. Have you noticed this? So the child has to be handled gently, that part is just skin, there is no bone. So, this part in the yogic terminology is referred to as Brahmarandhra. Randhra means a passage, like a small hole or a tunnel or a passage. So this is known as Brahmarandhra. So this is the space in the body through which life descends into the fetus. Because life has descended into the fetus and life keeps its options open. Whether this body is capable of sustaining it or not, it keeps the options open. That much awareness is there in the life process, so it keeps that trapdoor open till the last minute. It wants to keep it open just in case it finds the body unsuitable for its existence, it will leave. And it does not want to leave from any other passage in the body, it wants to leave the way it came. There are any number of… probably if there are doctors or obstetricians, you would know, there are any number of cases where by all medical parameters, the fetus is healthy, everything is fine, but for some reason, a stillbirth happens. Simply because the life within is still choosing. If it finds a wrong kind of body is happening, life has its own karmic substance and the fetus has the karma of the parents. So, it has made its choice, it is 90% of the time it is correct or more, it is correct. Sometimes it is conscious that it could make a wrong choice. So this is the reason why during pregnancy, so many precautions were taken to create a different kind of atmosphere around a woman who is pregnant. We're giving that up now, a woman goes to work, she sits in the cinema, she goes all over the place. Such a thing is not maintained anymore. This was done just hoping something better than who both of you are comes into your womb. You know what I'm saying? You are husband and wife, you are of a certain quality. You want your child to be of a higher quality than who you are, not just like you. Someone better than you should come into your womb, so that for that sake, even a husband was not allowed to see a woman beyond a certain stage of pregnancy, because she is to be kept in a certain state of comfort and well-being, with a certain type of thought, with a certain type of atmosphere, trying to please her system in all ways, right kind of incense, right kind of sounds, right kind of mantras, right kind of food, everything, so that her body is in a state that it welcomes the right kind of being. Maybe in today's world it is all these things are out of question. So if a being enters into this particular fetus and finds it unsuitable as it evolves to become a baby, then it leaves. That is why one door is kept open. So this is the Brahmarandhra. And even when you leave one day, you can leave whichever way. But if you leave through the Brahmarandhra, it is the best way to leave. I don't know if I should say this, because if I say this, you may start imagining all kinds of things. If you become meditative, as you do Shambhavi, I shouldn't say this, it'll lead to all kinds of things. Because people have a very wild imagination. I always avoid telling them anything which is not in their experience, because they will start imagining all kinds of things. Anyway, if you Don't do this to yourself, it's not necessary. If I hold my hand above my Brahmarandra, even up to 4 feet above, if you hold it, you will see a clear feeling in your hand, which is always in the form of something like an 8. This will be always happening if you keep your energies in a certain way. This can happen to every human being, but it is happening within. It doesn't extend itself beyond, because the final 2 chakras out of the 114 chakras that are there in the system, 2 chakras are outside the body. If dimensions beyond the physical become a constantly active process, some of you might have felt this in your Shambhavi, for a few moments, you feel something beyond yourself has become active. So if a dimension beyond your physicality becomes a continuously active process within you, then after some time, these 2 chakras which are dormant and outside the body become active. If they become active, there is you got an antenna on your head, which is giving you a certain perspective of life.
Namaskaram everybody. So as I was reading this book, which is written by Sadhguru, I found one of the most interesting topic about how life ascends into the womb. Now this topic that has been covered by Sadhguru in this book was literally an eye-opening for me. So I thought, why not to share with you. Now according to this book, immediately after conception, the physical body slowly starts developing within a woman's womb. But it is only like a nest, just like the story of a crow and cuckoo, that the crow lays its egg in the nest and cuckoo lays its egg in the nest of the crow. Similarly is the womb. When 2 peoples come together and start creating a body, someone else who is ripe for that and is looking for a body comes and occupies it. Before that, fetus was not a being, it was just a bundle of cells. It was not because of smallness of the body that it was not a being, but simply because it was not occupied by any life. After this, the other life occupies the womb and this bundle of cells becomes a being. Maybe not yet a full person, but in many ways a person. Generally, the physical body in the womb is ready to be occupied after 40 days. 99% of the time, life enters the womb and takes on a physical body between 40 to 48 days after conception. And according to this book, certain beings who have been conscious beyond a certain point wait for the body to grow a little more in the womb, but they will not let any other life even to enter the womb. When such things happen, it is very easy to know. According to this book, during pregnancy, there are many signs which clearly indicate whether life has entered the womb within 40 to 48 days or not. Now that becomes a sign for a phenomenal being arriving. It is because of certain qualities that it guards the womb, but it does not enter it. It will wait for the body to develop a little more and only then it will enter. Now this sort of situation also leaves mother in a certain state of distress or fundamental level of discomfort, which is not physical but a sort of existential anxiety. Between 45 to 65 days into the pregnancy, mothers has tears welling up for particularly no reason beyond normal maternal emotions, or they start seeing flashes of bright blue colors on and off, or dreams of snakes start coming. This means a sage or a sorcerer or a great conqueror is on the way. When such signs are noticed, various processes to transform the yet to be born are done. A sage, a sorcerer or conqueror doesn't mean that he or she will sit in the cage or in the forest, but simply it depends on its capacity and competence. Now it simply means a certain level of competence or compatibility. The difference is only of intent. This is why many efforts are being made to establish an all-inclusive intent the moment pregnancy has occurred. Only after this, somewhere between 84 to 90 days, the engagement with the body for this life truly begins. Till then, the life is just foraging. It checks if this womb is the right place for it. This is not a conscious choice, it is an unconscious choice. Tendency-wise, it is checking out the womb to see if it matches it. Traditionally, we call these tendencies as vasanas. Depending upon the vasana, we look for an appropriate body. During this time, depending on how conscious the being is, there is a little bit of choice as to what kind of body he or she chooses. There is karmic choice. It is not any kind of physical choice. There is a natural tendency for the person to go in a certain direction towards a certain home, seek out certain people, because this is how the karmas are. For example, if we let a whole group of people into a small hall for the first time, everyone settles down in their own place. The choice is not entirely random. It is based on the karma to a large extent. You may have the karma of back pain, then you will settle down near the wall. You may have the karma of always hiding and looking. So you want to be there in the situation, but you don't want to be visible. So you will find the place where a big person is sitting in front of you. Now, if your karma would be always that you want to be in the front row, you will just come and sit there. It may be unconscious, but that is how it is. It is your karma that makes you settle down in a certain place. Similarly, there are millions of wombs and millions of beings looking for a body. They will settle down according to their attributes and tendencies. Once it has found the body, it has the vibrancy of the prana of that being, which enhances the quality of the physical body. From this point onward, it is not just the mother who is making the baby. For example, this is why there are millions of instances where probably the mother is weak, undernourished, but she delivers a very healthy baby. But there may also be someone else in the family in which the mother is well taken care of, but the baby is very fragile. This is the pranic substance, the pranic vibrancy of the being acting upon that particular body. Accordingly, the new life takes the new physical body. Now, one of the most important aspects which I also found in this book was how the chakras start developing in the fetus. The chakras start developing gradually in the womb, somewhere around in the 12th week. Only Muladhara chakra is formed. Within the first 28 to 30 weeks, depending upon the development quality of the fetus, the first 5 chakra up to Vishuddhi is fully established. Now this book says the other 2 chakras, that is Ajna chakra and Sahasrara chakra, do not establish to some extent in many human beings. Nearly 30 to 35% of the newborn infants, the Ajna chakra may not be developed. Now this could be known by the movement of their eyeballs. This is why the moment a child is born, the first thing they do in this culture, after washing the babies, they put a little bit of vibhuti. They made a large concise spot by applying this particular type of resin in the Ajna chakra point. As it dries, this resin draws the skin towards it and it creates a strong sensation towards the spot in the middle of the eyebrows. This is just the case. The Ajna chakra is not yet developed. We want the child to start focusing in that direction. Lastly, Sahasrara chakra generally is not developed for the most at the time of birth. That slowly evolves thereafter. As mentioned before, as Sadhguru said, on the top of the head there is a spot known as Brahma Randhra. Randhra is a Sanskrit word that means a passage, like a small hole or a tunnel. Now about this, Sadhguru has already talked about. What was more fascinating about Brahma Randhra that I studied in this book, that when some being leaves the body through Brahma Randhra, you could see a physical hole on the top of the head. Now knowing this was really an eye-opener for me. I came to know that why when the child is born, the tender spot is there on the top of the head and why it is taken a gentle care. This was really a very eye-opening book for me. If you loved the exploration and found the video meaningful, do not forget to give it a like, share and subscribe. Up to next, stay safe, healthy, happy and namaskaram.